Today we are going to be matchmaking the Featherweight Division, guys. Okay, so this division kind of already has a lot of fights booked, but I think there are a lot of fights to make it. Number one, first one, obviously Volkanovski versus the winner of Evloev versus Lerone Murphy. This is obvious. Honestly, guys, if the UFC doesn't make this fight, I might be done with the sport. It's like, if they give Gene Silva a shot, listen, I'm all aboard the Gene Silva Glaves train. Okay, I think Gene Silva is the best fighter in the division. But there comes a time whenever you're just not making the guys who deserve it the most. I know Gene Silva looked really good in his last in his last fight against Arnold Allen, and could have arguably, and I think if Gene Silva wasn't an idiot in the Diego Lopez fight, he would have cruised through Lopez. But anyway, this fight needs to happen. I think Volk is going to make sure that Evloev or Murphy gets the shot. And, this would be Volk beats Evloev easily. Volk, I think what I've noticed a lot from the MMA commentary on Volk's last performance is that everyone thinks that Volk looked really bad, okay? And I personally don't think it was because Volk was fighting bad. Instead, it was a game plan issue, okay? He just didn't want to get caught with Lopez's power, and he did that on purpose, okay? I think Volk fought the way he did just because he simply knows. Listen, I think everything else physically wise, he's as good as prime Volk was, okay? The difference is he has a glass chin and he knows this, okay? But if he fights freaking Evloev or Murphy, they're not chinning him, okay? This is going to be a prime Volk performance if you see him show up against one of these guys, okay? And Evloev is going to win, by the way. I'll do those fight predictions this week. But it's like, this is going to be an easier fight for Volk. And I think if he gets one more defense, call me crazy, if Ilya has vacated at this point, double champ, champ. I don't think that's crazy. I really don't think that's crazy. I think he might have to, if he goes through Diego Lopez a third time, hey, guys, I don't think, because Diego Lopez probably beats Steve Garcia, if we're being for real. It's going to be a fun fight, but Diego Lopez probably wins that, okay? The crazy thing is, if Steve Garcia wins this fight, he's the number one contender. He's going to get a title shot after Mobzar. That's actually unbelievable. Now that you say it. Okay, whatever. Going on to the next fight. This fight's already been booked. This fight is also ridiculous. Steve Garcia's only really knocked out David Onama. Okay, let's go through Steve Garcia's actual fight career so far. Okay, let's go through everything. Here we go. Steve Garcia. Listen, he looked great in his last fight against David Onama. The problem is, it's hey, Calvin Kattar W, Kyle Nelson. It's these aren't. Oh wow, he beat Mademoiselle Acosta. Really, and he beat Chase Hooper. He's got a sneaky resume, guys. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. But still, I think we can all agree he needed probably one more fight before really coming into things. I would have liked to see him maybe against a Gene Silva. That would have been a huge fight. Maybe against a Yusuf Salal. Anyways, I would have preferred to see Lopez against Yair. Okay? I watched Money Manziel's last video on Yair Rodriguez. He's 100% right. Yair hasn't fought anybody. Okay? Listen. Hey, Yair, time to face the music, my boy. Time to face the music. Gene Silva, your time has come. I don't know why I'm quoting bedtime. That's actually so cringe. That's unbelievable. Let's edit that out. No, but anyway, it's for real. Yair, you have to fight somebody, okay? You can't just hang out the top four. Listen, if he doesn't get another fight booked in 3 months, cut him from the roster. I'm being for real, okay? But Yair versus Silva would be a banger. Yair's actually a really good fighter, okay? He's got some elite kicks. He could give problems to Silva on the feet, okay? If he's able to keep range and things like that, I would still take Silva to knock him out. But I could talk myself into picking Yair, which is crazy. I think he's one of the actual better matchups for Silva in this entire division. Maybe Mavzar would be better, but other than him, I really can't think of another guy. I think Silva would chin Lopez so bad if they rematched. I'm going to be honest. All right, come on. Next fight already made. Ridiculous fight. It should be like if we're not going to do Sterling, if we're not going to do Yair versus Lopez, we should at least do Yair versus Sterling. Get an unk out of there. You know what I mean? One unk survive. And I feel bad for Sterling because like win or lose for this fight, it does not matter to his career. Like it's not like he goes up on the GOAT list at all. It's not like this gets him any closer to a title. It's another filler fight. By the way, sorry for this being so blurry. It's another filler fight for him. Okay? It's not like there's anything that's going to get him closer to a title, getting closer to fight Volk. Like maybe he can fluke his way into a title shot. But I highly doubt it for how many good contenders there are, you know, in featherweight. So I feel really bad for Aljo. I wish he got a better fight. But anyways, I'm still probably going to take him over Zalal, even though Zalal's whatever. All right, next fight. This one, again, has already been made. Arnold Allen. I actually love this fight. You know, Arnold coming off a tough loss before against Gene Silva, but Gene Silva is also the best fighter in the division, so he took a round off of him. So it's like I really don't hate him for you know, it was a close fight. He represented well. And listen, Costa's a beast, okay? Costa's a freaking beast. And he's going to lose. And I don't think, like, the UFC likes these prospects, and then they just feed them bad fights. Like, Arnold Allen is a bad fight for Costa, okay? I would like to see Costa fight. No, I mean, this is a good fight. Okay, but Costa's going to lose this. Like, the loser of this, Costa's not done if he loses this. He's relatively young. But for Arnold Allen, this is make or break. Like, if Allen loses this, it's not like he would be sniffing. Like, he needs to move up to 155. I think it's like he could do much better in that division. You know, he had a closer fight against Holloway. Like, put him against someone in that 11 to 15 range at the 155 rankings. You know, maybe you could do Ortega versus Allen, or Allen versus like a Moicano at 155. Just something to get him in the rankings. You know what I mean? That could have been really fun. You could have done him against Beneil. Anyways, next fight. Again, this one's already been booked. I kind of feel bad for Pitbull here, okay? Pitbull won his last fight. He beat 50K Ige. Not like that's a great win or whatever, but he's getting up there in age, and it's not like he's got all these fights left. I think he deserved one last push, kind of. It's not like he would ever get a title shot, but he deserved one last push off the rankings, see whatever big fight he could get. But, you know, that's where we are. He could have got a Yusuf Zalal. He could have gotten Arnold Allen. You know what I mean? It's like those are fights that could have been made. You know, he could have got a Josh Emmett fight last weekend, but he's not fighting. So it's like instead he gets Aaron Pico, and unfortunately Aaron Pico is just going to dominate him, guys. I would honestly take Aaron Pico over some of the other fighters in the division. Let's go through my rankings of the featherweight since we're already talking about this. So these are my rankings. So we have Gene Silva, Volkanovski, Diego Lopez, Mobzar, Arnold Allen, Lerone Murphy, Aljo, and Costa. I'm going to be honest, guys. Like, I could have Aaron Pico at 9. I could have Aaron Pico at... I would take... that's such a good fight, Costa versus Sterling. I could take Pico over Aljo. I would probably take Pico over Aljo. Guys, Pico looked really good in those 2 minutes. I'm not even trying to be that guy. But Pico legitimately looked really good, really fast, and something that Lerone wasn't even ready for. Guys, by the way, Lerone's not very good. I have Lerone at 6. Okay? It's not like Lerone is some top-of-the-top talent. Okay? I have Lerone at 6. He's going to get dog-walked by Mobzar. Like, let's be for real, guys. Let's be for real. I could even see Aljo beating Lerone, to be honest. But yeah, it's like this is a tough fight. I'm gonna take Aaron Pico in this. This should be open. I don't know where this is on the card, but this could open up the main card, and I'd be really happy with that. Listen, guys, it's not like I love this fight. Like, it's not like this fight to me makes a bunch of sense. But if you're looking at kind of like the guys who are left in the rankings, a Pat Sabatini fight kind of makes sense. Okay, this is only if Kevin Vallejos wants to stay active. Okay, so if Kevin Vallejos is really dying to take a fight in the next, 2 or 3 months, even if I would like him to maybe fight the loser of this fight or this fight, You know what I mean? The loser against Movzar versus Lerone, or even the loser against this fight. I mean, he looked really good. I'm just saying if for whatever reason he wants to fight in the next 2 months, this could be the fight that he could take. You know, just keep him active. Put this on a card. He would probably chin Pat Zavattini, and that would be a really fun fight. All right, last match making the card, we have Mr. Clean versus David Onama. Battle of the Wash. Battle of the guys who just got chinned. Yeah, it's like I want Josh Emmett to get a win, and I think this is a winnable fight for him, even though how awful he looked in his last fight. I don't think David Onama's that good. Not to be rude, but I don't know. You know, maybe I'd see David Onama different, but he got chinned really easily by Steve Garcia. And I'm probably taking Josh Emmett to do the same thing to him. Like, listen. Like, you might have saw my thumbnail for the last video. Josh Emmett, I did put Aster Class for the thumbnail. By the way, banger thumbnail. I don't know why more people didn't click on that video. And, like, yeah, it wasn't a great performance. And, yeah, he was going to get chinned. But it's like David Onama's not going to give him any problems on the feet. Josh Emmett knocks him out. Not a Bryce Mitchell level knockout, but Josh Emmett knocks him out. Anyways, guys, that's what I got for the video. Matchmaking the entire featherweight division. Again, a lot of these matchmakes are already made. Pretty much all my only contributions are Yair versus Gene Silva. Anyways, guys, have a great night. See you later.